on everyone, Tom here from Pizarro's Pieces, and in today's video I'll be showcasing my boot sale finds from this weekend. Welcome back everyone. So it is Bank Holiday Monday. I haven't been to any boot sales this morning. The weather was a bit dodgy last night. There was some thunderstorms on and that, but what I did yesterday is I put up my video from Saturday from Sandown Park Toy Fair. So what I thought I'd do is I'll do the boot sale video today on Bank Holiday Monday in case I did go to any this morning and I would have just combined the two. But I didn't. I only went to the boot sales yesterday. I have found some good gear again. So, you know, everyone's saying that there's not stuff out there. There is, but I'm starting to get into that whole the early bird catches the worm thing. I was at the boot sale yesterday at 6 AM, as I have been the last couple of weeks, and I am picking up some good bits and pieces. So, first boot sale I went to, as soon as I walked in, I found these for, again, you guys know that these sort of things ain't for myself, they're for the business. So obviously these are the Titan figures. So I've got Iron Man, Thor with his hammer, Spider-Man and a Stormtrooper. I picked these up for £7 for the four. Ideally with things like this you want to try and pick them up for £1 each, and I'd normally sell them for like £3 or £4. But the Titan figures are still quite popular with the young kids in that. And obviously I do quite a lot of Comic Cons, so I'm always looking out for bits and pieces like that, just to sort of fill gaps on the table at Comic Cons for the kids and that. So that was the first thing. I found that straight away. That was like literally 6:05. And then it was becoming a bit of a struggle. I started seeing the usual lizards about, and there was a few new faces. I see gamers, and then I see a youngish, I say young, he was probably late 20s, guy walking around with a boxed Mega Drive, and I was just like, and like I said to you, like everyone who watches this channel knows that I'm into retro gaming, but I won't go hunting it. If it's sat there in front of me and it's at a reasonable price, I'll take it, but I won't get into the excuse me, I've got a dodgy throat this morning. I won't get into the fighting and embarrassment of arguing with these geezers over computer games. So yeah, I was walking around a little bit more. Then I came across this kid. I think he was like, he was probably about 15, selling some of his collection. There were some lizards wrapped around him, picking up some Star Wars bits and all that. I knew that. I thought, let me have a look, see what he's got, and try and grab a couple of bits. So I've got these two. These are the Hulk and Abomination from the movie, the not so popular movie. I think these two came as a pair. I had a look on eBay, and some of these are sold recently for like 15-20 quid for the pair, which is quite surprising. So I picked them two up for £1 each, and then I got, as usual, which is becoming every week now, I'm finding at least one Venom. This little Venom is from 2008. I don't think I've got him, and if I have, he's still going on the shelf. I'm not sure where this is from. Is this from one of them little play sets, them little kiddie play sets? I'm not too sure, but I paid 50p for him. Happy days. And then off the same kid, I've got 3 tins of Pokemon cards. Nah, Pokemon's still massive, still popular. I always sell loads at the Comic Cons and for the kids and that. These 3 are full of cards. I've gone through them. There's about 7 or 8 shinies as well. I paid 12 quid. I paid 4 quid a tin. I used to, up until a little while ago, it's kind of up and down because of the app. I was knocking these out, the tins out, with I think about 100 cards for like tenors. So there's a little bit of money there to be made. So I got that off that kid. They were 4 quid each, so they'll be going into the stock room. I was walking around for a bit, and then I was getting the ump. I was going to consider leaving, so I started just sort of walking backwards and forwards a little I was tired and my head weren't really screwed on. Then I come across this guy, and I see him from quite far away because it was quite obvious what he was selling. He had boxes, like the big white cardboard boxes of comics. And I walked up to him straight away and I said, how much are the comics? He said 50p each, and he had loads of graphic novels. He wanted £4 a graphic novel. He was obviously a collector. I had a long chat with him. He was clearing down his collection, and he was selling loads of it. I asked him if he had any toys. He said, yeah, give him a minute. Then I see a guy that I see him at most boot sales, this guy, but he's normally a gamer. I always see him picking gaming bits up. He sort of floated around and was asking if there was any figures and that. Anyway, I picked up a ton of gear off this guy. So one of the things I got was this little tin, Marvel tin, and it's got a load of the old Marvel. Well, it looks like a full set of Silver Age. They've got Silver Age written on them. I think these are all. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know cards. These sort of cards ain't super popular no more, so I have to do a bit of research for that. But I love the tin on this, and obviously look who's on the side of it. The main guy, Venom. So I picked that up off him. I've got like a bulk deal on all this, so I picked up a couple of books. I think he'd done these for like 50p each. Little Marvel handbooks. He also had a Mega Drive game randomly. Sonic the Hedgehog. Unfortunately, no manual, but hey ho. Then the comics. I counted them this morning. There's 45 comics in total. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but we've got a set of 3 Batman, Dark Knight, Dark City, a set of 4 DC War of Gods, a complete mini-series, it looks like, of The Flash. I say mini-series, it's 1 to 6 from 2006. An old mini Wonder Woman annual from 1988, and then all these DC comics. These were like the new ones: Superboy, Green Lantern, The Flash. So there was a handful there that I got. There's a ton of Marvel ones here. And like I said, he did do me a really good price on them, so I'm going to quickly run through. Got some old Marvel double feature: Captain America, Iron Man's 4. Again, Captain America, Ghost Rider 50th edition. Ghost Rider double sized milestone 25th edition. Daredevil Fall from Grace chapter 1 to 6. I think that is a mini series, and Venom's in one of them, so I might have a little read of that. I've got some Spider-Man team ups with the X-Men 1 to 4, team up with the Avengers, Inhumans. I mean, it goes on. There's a few other These are quite big. These are like fat comics. Strange Tales featuring the Thing, Doctor Strange, and Human Torch. Tales to Astonish with the Hulk, Wasp, and Hank Pym. And Tales of Suspense with Captain America and Iron Man. Again, these are not your average comic, they're quite thick. And then the last ones I got was Doctor Who, Spider-Man, Doctor Octopus, and there's this is 5 parts. I'm not too sure how many parts there were to this, but there's certainly the first 5 comics here. So yeah, 45 comics in total. I also got some figures off him, and some extra bits and pieces. I've got some Marvel BAF parts. These are obviously from the Blob. And I know even these can fetch, sort of 8, 10, 12 quid each. So 2 bits for the Blob. Black Bolt. This is a Toy Biz Black Bolt figure from about 96, is it? So look, 94. I've got this guy. I cannot remember this guy's name. He's from Marvel 95. I can't think of his name. Someone can remind me. Toy Biz again. I've got a couple of Legends figures. I've got Nick Fury off of him and Captain Britain. These 2 have already sold, and the last couple of bits I got off him were and probably the best bits, to be honest with you, because these go for quite good money. These are the 3.75 inch, I think, Marvel Universe figures. So we've got Miss Marvel and we've got Nick Fury. I think she goes for about 20 quid. This little figure goes for about £20. So I bought all that lot off him, 45 comics, a bundle of little figures, Mega Drive game, a few books, tin of cards. I paid 25 quid. In my mind, I thought even if I sold the comics at £1 each, I'll get £45. And I know some of these figures were worth more than 10, 15 quid. So I was well happy with that, and it kind of made my day. And I thought, you know what, if I go home and this is it, not the end of the world. But on leaving, walking around one more time and leaving, I did find a couple more bits, surprisingly. There was one stall selling a few figures. I picked these up for £1 each. Got a Biker Mice from Mars figure, and I've got, I think this guy's name's Lasher. I'm not sure. He's kind of got that Venom Carnage look. Now I think this was from the Toy Biz Planet of the Symbiotes toy line in 1996. It's got on his foot. I've got a couple of dodgy looking Venoms and Carnages from that. There was loads of different symbiotes they brought out. I think his name's Lasher, but I'm going to keep him anyway. I paid £1 each for them. Now, leaving this boot sale, there was one last thing, and I could not believe it was in the middle of the table and no one had grabbed this. Not great pieces, don't get me wrong, but I was quite surprised with the whole big 80s thing at the minute. A lady had on her table a Prince Adam, naked, no weapons obviously, but he's in pretty decent condition, and Rob at Robbo Toys has asked for him, so that's no problem. We've got a naked He-Man with some wobbly legs. Again, people got a decent Skeletor though, and he's got an unbroken armour. Shame he hasn't got a belt. He's in really good nick, to be honest with you. She had a battle cap with just the saddle, no helmet. A shame again, but never mind. I said to her how much you want. She went, oh, I know they go for big money on eBay and all that. And I said, well, this ain't eBay. How much you want? And she said, oh, I want £2 a figure. So I said, well, could you do 2 on Skeletor or 2 on Battle Cap? Because they had some armour and that, and then £1 each on the other. She went, yeah, go on then. So I paid £6 for the lot. And I said, it's a shame there's no weapons. And then she said, oh, there are, yeah. And she pulled out a couple of weapons. One was He-Man's axe, which is always good. It's always good to have weapons. Another random one was Lionel's sword. What Lionel's sword was doing with this lot is anyone's guess, but that generally happens in 80s mixed up toys and all that. So yeah, I paid £6 for all that. Even Lionel's swords you can normally get about £4 or £5 for, so I was happy with that. I left that boot sale. I only had £20 left on me. I didn't really bring that much out with me yesterday, so I went back to the boot sale near my house. Now this was the boot sale where I found all the Thundercats, the Ghostbusters, Turtles 2 weeks ago. Usually, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It was a huge haul. And I bumped into the same guy, the old guy and the girl who was selling all them old figures, the wrestling figures and that. He shook my hand, he went, oh, how you doing and all that. Anyway, he started pulling out. He had the Ghostbusters Firehouse, he had the Ghostbusters car, the Ecto, he had the Turtles van, he had the Turtles blimp, he had the Turtles sewer set, he had the Turtles helicopter, albeit it was missing loads of parts. He had the Proton pack, like the little cosplay Proton pack, and I was thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I've got £20 left on me and this geezer's pulling all this out. A few lizards started jumping around and that, but more people were more interested in trainers, to be honest. I was quite shocked, but then I realised it was probably to do with what he was asking as prices. Now, I don't know whether he got clued up a little bit after he sold all that gear to me the other week, or whether he had been told by someone. I'm not sure, but his words were to me were like, I can do you a deal, but I'm looking for big money on this lot, because I think it was because the items were bigger. So I said, alright, how much you want? He wanted £40 on the Firehouse. Now, if you was a collector of Ghostbusters, £40 for a Firehouse, it had the sign, it had the ghost traps. That's good money. You know, they normally go for 60, 70 quid, and it was in decent condition. But I didn't want it. It was too big and bulky. It was a lot of money for me to fork out and that. And I only had £20 on me. How much for the Turtles van? Now I'm thinking he's going to say a £5, and I would have grabbed it. £25. I was like, really? That's the going rate. That's the retail rate. How much for the Ecto? £30. How much for the Proton pack? £35. Again, if you was a collector of Ghostbusters, £35, not too bad. But I never had that money on me, and plus it was way too high compared to what I bought all them figures for a couple of weeks before. I couldn't justify, as a dealer, I could not justify spending that sort of money on that stuff. Then he bought out some bits for me, and then a good deal came up for me. So he bought out some vehicles, and he said to me, oh, do you want to take these three? Because I told him I only had £20 left on me. He went, I'll tell you what, I'll do you these three for £20. I thought, alright then, I'm happy with that. £20, my last £20, I'm going home after this. So, one of the first vehicles he brought out was this. I can't think what this is called, but this is from Thundercats. I'm not sure if it's missing. It might be missing some handlebars. I've had these before. They don't go for great money. I've sell them for about £5. So that was one of them. The second one was the Thunder Tank. Unfortunately, this works. I've tested it and that. This is snapped at the back, which is a shame. It's in decent condition overall though, and it's missing the tracks. But my man Vic at Fistful Collectibles has got a pair of tracks that he's going to give to me. I've done a little trade with him, so that's pretty much given me a complete fun. Panthro didn't come with it. I put Panthro in it last night to get a good picture, because obviously he was the Thundercat who used to drive it, so it was just the Thunder Tank as it is. Like I said, still a very good find. And then the last item, which is probably the best item of the 3 vehicles, is this beast, which is the Thundercats Mutant Pounder. Now I've tested it, it works. It's overall in decent condition, and I do believe it's complete and not missing anything. It needs a bit of a clean, but I've already sold this, so I've made my money back, so I'm super happy. And it's always good to, you know, when you've spent a chunk of money on gears at boot sales and toy shows, especially if you're looking to sort of sell on, it's always nice to make a little bit back pretty quickly, so that your bank balance don't start going AWOL. But yeah, that was pretty much all of it. I couldn't buy none of the other gear. It's a shame, but he wanted too much money and I couldn't justify spending that. So yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. So I hope you're all enjoying the videos. Thanks to all the new subscribers. The YouTube channel is sort of getting more on the up, like the Instagram and the Facebook. If you ain't subscribing, please consider to do so. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video, check out all my other videos. And guys, until next time, I'll see you then.